It's YouTube, babies. So I got more of the variants in. I was like, rate them again, and then we can talk about anything else you want to talk about.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say the lowest, but I like this. I still like this one. I'd say the Venom. I think
Hmm.
it looks cool, but it's just like, yeah, it's Venom Godzilla, you know. And then
I'll
this
be
one,
honest, I ordered a couple extra of those because I was like, I think people are gonna love this.
yeah, I mean it's cool, but at the same time, it's like he's not doing anything. Like that's my whole
Hmm.
thing is I like to see him doing something. And this one would be higher up because it's nonsensical. It's cool, but the problem is it's like it just kind of looks like they took the character that's also in it and just kind of like put him there. It's not like it was actually drawn. So this is the Captain America cover. And I think
Yeah,
I mean it's like such a neat concept and it's nonsensical and fun, but at the same time it's like you just look like you had this picture of Godzilla and you like had a clip art of Captain America that you just slapped on in Word.
because like the atomic breath should just be destroying that motorcycle.
Yeah, 100%. And then my next one, this would probably be your favorite. I'm just assuming because who's in it, but it looks awesome, looks great. But the Moon Knight cover,
Hmm.
it was awesome.
It is.
But then my number one for this week is the Spider Gwen. It's just awesome.
Yeah, love that cover.
Yeah. He did such a good job with that. I wish Godzilla was wearing a hoodie.
I know. He'd look awesome.
Yeah.
This week, I mean, between the two Godzilla books and all those covers, I was like, holy shit, I'm sending Casey like 8 Godzilla
Yeah.
books.
Like when I open up my boxes and I have like, the variants in there, I'm like, holy shit, there are so many books. I don't remember having all these. And I'm like, oh yeah, variant time.
Yep. All right. I thought maybe we could bring back Monday Night Football for the
Yeah,
YouTube.
sounds good, man.
It's already started, but you don't know
Old,
the score, so it's
yeah,
whatever.
I do know your old Bears have at least won one game.
Yeah, they won the first game. They played last night and it was fucking garbage. It's like it's like before the game, Caleb Williams, the quarterback, made your mom jokes to the entire offensive line because they were just letting everybody through.
It's kind of weird how that like happens with the Bears, where it's just kind of like, I remember when we were in college, Jay Cutler was the old uh
Bringing back bad
quarterback.
memories, man, but go
And
ahead.
yeah, no, and it's like I remember all the time he would just get fucking sacked. It's like I had roommates that would watch football, and he was just like, and he gets so upset about it, which rightfully so. I'm like, it
Hmm.
sounds like it's a repeat of the Jay Cutler era.
Yeah, it's not as bad because it wasn't that bad on the first game, but I don't know. Last night they just couldn't get anything going, man. It was and he's a rookie quarterback, so you gotta cut him some slack.
Hmm.
But there were two times where he's about to get sacked. He makes a cool spin move, gets away. He's about to get sacked again, so he drops back and throws it. Interception. Twice it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's two scoring opportunities. And they only lost by 6 points. So it's like it could have been a win.
Yeah. Do you like when you watch the Bears do bear things, do you just have a trash can by you that you can be like, it's fucking unacceptable and kick it?
Look, man, it's just another game, right?
Yeah.
This has been my whole life except for 2009.
Yeah,
So,
that was the year they lost to the Colts.
yep,
Yeah. I remember watching that one with you.
yep, I'll never forget it.
That's
It,
your 9/11.
it is. They they scored on the opening kickoff. ran it back for a touchdown. I was like, this is it. It's finally gonna happen. And then Peyton Manning fucking wiped his ass with the whole team.
Yep. Peyton man thing.
We needed him. But we made it to the Super Bowl with fucking Rex Grossman as the quarterback. That was
Right?
clearly we had the best defense in the league. They took us all the way there, and it was very obvious.
Yeah. You had old Brian Urlacher.
Yep, I
That's the
miss him.
funniest. That's the funniest thing though, because Chicago Bears fans would say this, and then the Chicago Bulls in the Thibodeau era would say this all the time, like, yeah, defense wins championships. And I was like, really? How many rings does Thibodeau have? And then like, well,
Here's the thing though. It's more true with football
yeah,
because like uh like Tillman and Urlacher and Lance Briggs, like they would force a fumble, or Tillman would get an interception and then run it back for 6 points. It's like, oh, they're scoring more points than our offense by a lot.
yeah, yeah. That was the case for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But anyway, I'm still glad that football's back, and I don't know. I think the Bears will. Last year they won 3 games, so I think it'll be better than that.
They're
So
doubling it this time.
I think they could. I really
Yeah.
do. But
They should
anyway,
have
tonight's game.
they should have got Belichick as their coach. Should have like, hey, here's a big old wad of cash. You and your 21-year-old girlfriend come over here.
I, I can't stand that guy. He is such a douche. But anyway, tonight it's Battle of the Birds. We've got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, it's got to be the Eagles, right? Because
I would think so.
because they were really good last year, and like I don't think the Falcons have been good for a minute, right?
Yeah, I can't think of the last time they were great.
I remember they were good when I was in college because that was Danielle's husband, his favorite team. So then she's like, well, since the Bears suck, I like them now, you know.
Hmm.
So that's the only reason why I knew that.
Yeah, they were good. And I mean, I think within the last 10 years they've been to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, but dude, God, I'm already so fucking sick of the Chiefs. So sick
Yeah.
of it. They they give Patrick Mahomes every fucking flag, every
Yeah.
single one of them. If he throws an interception, like after the play, flag comes out. Oh, it's coming back because holding or
Yeah.
something. It's like, give me a fucking break, man. It pisses me off so bad. I'm so like, I'd be this way with anybody. They've been
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl 4 out of the last 5 years. I'm fucking sick of them. It's
Hmm.
just it's like when the Giants were this good, or the fucking Patriots. Just get someone
Yeah.
else in there. So
Change the script, NFL.
exactly.
So what's the score though?
Falcons are up 3-0,
Okay,
and
okay.
they're in the second.
So anybody's game. Anybody's game.
Anybody's game. But all right, shall we do our episode?
Let's do it.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Wolverine to my Nightcrawler. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Why do I get to be Wolverine? Why do you get to be Nightcrawler? Is it because you're Catholic and I'm hard.
Well, I'm not Catholic.
Oh shoot,
And
you're Catholic light. That's what Dad always calls it.
that's pretty funny. Uh, I don't know. I like Nightcrawler more than Wolverine, and you like
Fair enough.
Wolverine quite a bit. So
Yeah.
there you go. All right. We do have one YouTube comment this week from our buddy Preston. Well, it's actually from the testing room, but we know it's Preston. He says, "Hey dudes, I have not received my issue of Exceptional X-Men 1 just yet, but I didn't want you to think that I don't listen or that I'm ignoring you. I did choose the sick Rose Besh cover, so I'm excited to get it. I got that cover too, Preston. I love Rose Besh. I really hope that she comes to C2E2 sometime." He says, "I just hope that they talk about how Catherine went from assassinating people as Shadowcat to running a bar to get away from the drama that she will inevitably get back into." Yeah, I guess we'll see, man. I don't know because I didn't read it,
I mean,
but
like they didn't go in like huge detail, but it's pretty much just, it did enough for me, but I also didn't read that last book, so,
yeah. The name, I'll say this, the name Shadowcat is fucking awesome,
yeah.
especially for an assassin. And she
Yeah.
looked cool with that black and blue like ninja suit. So
Dude, do you remember her in The Death of Wolverine, like that first issue when she
mhm.
fights Lady Deathstrike and like blows up her hand? That looks
Yeah,
so awesome.
it was. She's a cool character.
That's still just like in the recent years, in my opinion, has been like used properly. Like not even properly, just like used a good amount,
Yeah,
because like before that, it's like it was mostly just like, oh, she's doing some stuff with like she wants Colossus, but Colossus like you're too young, and then he's like, ah, I
just
like him
kidding.
young. Yeah.
Dude, I think Claremont was doing some self-projection in those early issues, and it was pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking weird.
I mean, how many of the different women were like, we have bad sides, which means lots of leather.
Right. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not here to judge. Well, just a little bit.
Jake, I mean, let's be honest. A redhead and all leather, you're like, okay, Chris, I get it.
Well, if she's of age,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, because Jean.
Right.
Yeah.
Jean, super
But the
hot.
the
And
funny
the hottest, say it with me, Mommy Pryor.
oh yeah. The the funniest thing though is like I mean, and by funny I mean creepy, is like early X-Men Stan Lee, I think it was Stan that was writing it at the time, but it was like Professor X wanted to bang, high schooler Jean Grey.
Ooh, don't remember that.
Yeah, like
Well,
there's
I never really read that, so.
yeah. It's like you're like, oh, you don't have issue 2 of X-Men? What are you doing? I thought you go to a comic shop. But but no, like there's a lot of stuff online where it's like him like inner monologue of him like struggling because he wants to bang Jean, but she's also a child, so he's like, oh, fight my urges.
Ah, dude.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but still,
Still,
yeah.
no, I know exactly. And it would all be in speech bubbles on the page because that's how they wrote
Hmm.
everything back then.
Which I miss those kind of.
Oh no, dude. I think if you would read it now, you'd hate it. It's unbearable.
It,
Because everything that they're saying, they're just doing on the page.
I mean, that's just bad writing. But I think like those thought bubbles were good because then they could it's the same thing as those like little boxes, that they have now that does the same thing. But then I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, they're thinking versus the other one where it's like maybe they're saying this out loud or maybe it's not, that type of thing.
I know what you mean, but it's bad writing in most of those, in my opinion. Because it'll just be like, I better sock it to this guy. Bam.
Yeah, I
Just
get
punch
that.
him. Just punch him. We don't need to see the thought process. We get it. Just
Hmm.
punch him. Um, but anyway. I wanted to make a quick comment because you said, "Oh, you don't remember X-Men 2 and you own a comic shop?" Uh, one of my helpers was talking about a snarky comment somebody made in the shop the other day. I've got a CGC graded issue of Booster Gold #1. It's a 9.8 with white pages. I've only got like $100 on it, which I don't think is that crazy for 9.8 white pages. The guy was like, there's too much that costs too much money. Booster Gold's not even that popular. It's like, okay, whether that's true or not, he still has a show coming up. And
Yeah.
also, a spec book you're not going to find in that condition for less than that. And
Yeah.
I know that because I looked up selling prices whenever I priced it.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to hear a snarky comment, and I thought you'd want to hear it. So
Yeah. No, that like that shit does have to get old though. Like,
yeah, it's all the fucking time.
yeah. I mean, at least, I mean, I'm hoping at least you don't have anyone looking through your 25-cent bins and being like, do you have Action Comics #1 in here?
It's not that bad, but almost all the comments are people trying to tell you why something is priced the way it is. It's like,
Yeah.
because that's what it fucking sells for, man. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. Oh, I just felt like putting that number on it. There's a reason.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are other shops that have shit priced way too high for no
Yeah.
reason.
Well, like I was telling you about that one shop in Springfield that it's in the mall. So that's why like everything has a premium price, but like I don't remember what the price was at, but they had the first appearance of Apocalypse written by Stan Lee, and it was like crazy high. I texted you. I'm like, dude, is this because you sold that issue? So I was like, is that the? And you're like, no, that's way higher than what I was selling it for.
Yeah. I had like $20 on it, I think, and you said that it was like over 100.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I don't know. I get it. It's just extra annoying to me because I truly don't think that I price stuff too high. You know what I mean?
no,
Like,
and you're willing to work with people too, which is a you know godsend.
right. And I know some shops will price stuff high hoping that people want to haggle and then
Yeah,
they look good, but for the most part it's like I don't need to haggle because it's already a good price.
yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, let's get on to the news, man.
All right.
It was another pretty rough news week in my opinion.
Yeah. Though I think so. I'm just gonna say this. I think soonish we're gonna get a Superman teaser trailer because I
Nice.
guess they have some footage ready for that. But it's like I think New York Comic Con's coming up, right? So that's
Yeah, that sounds right.
okay, that's the big rumor time. But the way DC and Marvel both kind of do their releases, it might just be like another DC fandom. They might like do a surprise fandom. Who knows?
I hope they do, personally.
Yeah. But
Um, I've got one more than you, so I'll
okay.
start with this little one I saw before we jumped on here. Um, there's a rumor that DC is going to revisit 52 during their All In stuff. I don't have anything else to go with that.
Yeah.
Um, it's something to do with like the end of absolute power, but there's supposed to be like a 52-day gap, talking about the construction of the Justice League Watchtower or something like that. And that's going to be touched on in like this. I think it's going to start in Action Comics or something like that. But anyway, um, I don't know if that means the event 52, if it means the new 52. I don't know. But if anyone cares, be on the lookout.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's
Here's my question though. It's like, is it okay to have a title in this all in stuff dedicated to New 52 continuity?
I think it could have been if they weren't doing, basically what New 52 should have been with the Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman books, since that's going to be like a big part of the next event, it looks like from the all the stuff. So it's like we don't need a third Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman running around, you
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I think it's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But honestly, the more that like I read stuff, I've not read much about the Wonder Woman. Like that's the only one where I haven't seen a lot of people talking, like them talking about it. But like the more I read about the Batman and then the Superman, I'm like, this sounds so fucking stupid. It's like, Batman, like I was like, oh, this will be a cool new take. And then they're like, everything about Batman? Yeah, we're not doing that. He's gonna be an engineer with a battle axe. Like, okay, how does he afford this? Engineer's salary, apparently, because he's poor. Or, because he doesn't have as much money as Bruce Wayne. It's like, why? And then like Superman, it's like his costumes made with the ashes of his planet. And I'm like, Lord, this might be okay because it's Jason Aaron doing it and it just sounds edgy and shitty, but it sounds edgy and shitty, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, the only one I'm kind of hyped for is Wonder Woman because she
Yeah,
looks so fucking rad.
yeah. No, she looks awesome and the writer is really good.
Hmm.
Like that's the big thing. I'm like, well, maybe it won't be too bad.
Yeah,
But
fingers crossed.
let us know down below if you're excited at all.
Hmm.
So we got another Venom 3 trailer. Still doesn't look good, but Norman Reedus has been revealed that he's gonna play Null.
Okay.
So that's something. Donnie Cates is making it sound. I mean, he's like on the hype train for it because he's getting paid money, but he's making it sound like Null's gonna have like a bigger part in I like the movie verse. I'm hoping they're gonna be an after credit scene with Craven maybe. I don't know. Dakota Johnson's like, I'm making a team. And then Craven's like, I'm over here. It's like, I can't see.
Dude, that would be fucking awesome for all the wrong
Oh
reasons.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
I'd be all in on the Sony verse if that were the case.
Dakota Johnson's just like, dude, I don't even remember filming this.
You remember when everybody was really pushing for Norman Reedus to be Ghost Rider a couple years ago?
Yeah.
So I watched through I know you see my Instagram. I watched through all of the Underworld movies last week, and either for the fourth or fifth one, for some reason it would not let me skip to the menu.
Hmm.
Um, so I was like, fuck it. I'll see what the previews were for, 2009's Underworld or whichever it was. And one of them was Ghost Rider. I was like, man, they made this trailer look pretty rad for what we got.
Yeah. Now, okay, so really quick about those Underworld movies, because it doesn't matter. Um, since I saw your rating, but at the same time, the Underworld movies were like, we're too cool for numbers. So I'm like, I don't know which one's which. So
Sure,
can you rate them one, one, two, three, four, but call them just Underworld one, two, three, four,
I
five.
can. So the number one spot is the first Underworld. I think that one's the best. At number two, uh, is Rise of the Lycans, which is the third movie. It's
Ooh.
actually a prequel set long before the first movie, but it stars um, Michael Sheen. who I think is really good in these movies, and I'm blanking on the gal that's his love interest in that movie, but it's all about them because he's a werewolf and she's a vampire. Classic story, right? They fall
Yeah,
in love, um, but her dad isn't having any of it, and so basically it ends up the werewolves go from being their slaves to breaking free, and now they're at war for centuries. It was actually pretty rad.
right on.
Uh, Third best, I've got Underworld 2, which is called Evolution. The fourth best is the fifth movie, which is called Blood Wars. And then at fifth place, I've got the fourth movie, which is called Awakening. Super boring. Not much happens at all. And it was extremely disappointing compared to some of the others. So, like, really, the first three are like where it's at.
Yeah,
Four and five really start to falter, but five is better than four.
I gotcha. Now, did all of them have that Evanescence song? Because that's like that was one of the things I remember the most from that first one. It was like every trailer, "Wake me up."
No, they didn't.
Oh man,
Just the one.
it's like stop waking me up. I need my rest.
I uh I really do love those movies, man. And the way that the fifth one ended, they really should make another one.
Yeah,
There's been rumors that they're going to reboot or that they're going to do a TV show. And obviously, I would watch whatever they do, but the way that that ended, we really need another one. So we'll see. Um, Man, Kate Beckinsale. Woo,
yeah. You.
you. So, but thanks for asking about it
Yeah,
because,
man.
you know, I spent a lot of time last week watching those, so it's nice to talk about it.
The worst part is I haven't checked the numbers yet, but we might have to do it all over again.
I hope that we do. All right. So we're getting a mini series called Rogue: The Savage Land. That's going to be written by Tim Seeley with art by, and I'm very sorry for this pronunciation, Zulima Lavina. Um, Art looks cool. I think Tim Seeley will probably excel at a Rogue in the Savage Land miniseries. It'll be fun.
You think Tim Seeley's gonna excel at a horny rogue book, is what you're saying?
Yeah, essentially.
Because that's the funniest thing to me, because it's like if it wasn't for cosplayers, the Rogue Savage Land, nothing, like it was like it popped up like once a long time ago, and then like cosplayers were like, this is fucking hot. I'm gonna do this, and then all of them do that now. And so now it's getting a mini series because people are
Yep.
more horny than they have been in years.
Yep. But man, it is a good one. It's a
Yeah,
good costume.
yeah. So if this episode gets 50 likes, we will both cosplay as Savage Land Rogue, and you guys get to then decide who's the hotter one.
There you go. You guys better get to sharing, or one of you create 49 other accounts that you can like this video with.
I just think it'd be hilarious if like we start getting negative views. It's like, how did this happen?
We're just mass reported.
Okay, so some more Green Lantern news because I'm the Green Lantern reporter, apparently. Josh Brolin and Matthew McConaughey are out of the running for Green Lantern, so won't get either of them.
Fine by
Um,
me.
yeah, but hopefully it's gonna be since they're wanting an old Hal, it'll be Chris Pine or old Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah. So anything can be said by those two gentlemen. Do you think it was a scheduling thing, or do you think the Green Lantern movie has left a sour taste in actors' mouths?
Um, I bet part of it is just the sour taste, and then because like Brolin, I mean, and maybe it's just they don't want to do a TV show on streamers too. because it's like Brolin and McConaughey are a little bit higher tier actors than the rest on that thing, you know. So they might want the just the scheduling freedom that you don't really
Right.
get from a TV show, you know. Timothy
Yeah.
Olyphant's done a lot of TV, so he probably doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. All right. And then the last bit of news, we're getting a magic, like X-Men's magic ongoing title in 2025. It's going to be written by Ashley Allen with art by Germán Peralta. Ashley Allen wrote the Blood Hunt tie-in that I was not super hot on. So that's a bit of a shame for me, but I'm obviously still going to read that. So
Yeah.
if
How many
anything,
issues? How many issues do you think it'll be? Because I know you say it's ongoing, but it's like eight.
my my heart is telling me 10. I It could go 12.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe X-Men fans will love it and latch onto it and it'll sell well. You never know.
Hmm.
And honestly, I hope it does. Um, but man, I hope we get more out of Magic than we got in that one shot. And
Yeah.
a one shot's tough. That's why I'm gonna give her the
Hmm.
benefit of the doubt. But I just did not think that she had a grasp of the character in that book. So we'll see. If anything, even if the book sucks, your boy is gonna get some fucking awesome variant covers out of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. What did you read this week then?
I read Wolverine #1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2, Godzilla Here There Be Giants 2, Sons of Giants #3, Uncanny X-Men #2, Green Lantern #15, Ain't No Grave #5, Vengeance of the Moon Knight #9, The Witcher Corvo Bianco #4, and DC versus Vampires World War V #2.
No Batman and Robin this time?
I did read that. I just
Oh,
didn't
okay.
bring it with me.
I gotcha. So you read a good bit this time. You read more than old Casey. Um, so yeah, I read Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 5, Shazam issue 15, God Godzilla Here There Be Dragons 2, Sons of Giants issue 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Batman Robin 13, The Uncanny X-Men 2, Green Lantern 15, and Wolverine 1.
A lot of Muchis for us.
I know. I was like, when you're like saying yours off, I was like, oh, did that one, you know.
All right, I'll do a couple. Starting off with DC versus Vampires World War V #2. It is written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Otto Schmidt. And it was pretty neato. A lot going on. Um, a small strike force made up of Green Arrow, Wildcat, Zealot, Killer Croc, and Swamp Thing. A team I never thought I would see together.
Yeah.
Break into a vampire warehouse where they think um, like they're making synthetic blood so they don't have to hunt humans. But Swamp Thing's like, I'm sensing a lot of life in there. So they go in and it's just a ton of plant life. They're like, why the hell are vampires growing food that they can't eat? And we don't get that answer in this issue. So I am looking forward to what that is. We get some good John Constantine stuff. It looks like that the Phantom Stranger at this point in time is Jason Blood, which I think is really interesting. And he is still has something to do with Etrigan because Etrigan makes a little bit of an appearance there too. Uh, we get a vampire, Mr. Miracle, with his non-vampire daughter on like 2 pages. So I think that could be an interesting dynamic. And then finally, um, Alfred goes to talk to Talia about Damien, and vampire Wonder Woman breaks in there, kicks Talia's ass, and she chases after Alfred, who runs into a vault. Wonder Woman rips the vault door off, and she's about to kill him when he reaches into a box and pulls out a Green Lantern ring and puts it on, and
Nice.
Alfred becomes the Green Lantern.
That's awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There was a lot to like about this book. So, very excited for the next one. Then we get a backup story. It's a Batmite backup story, but it's Batmite set in this world. It's written by Tyler Boss with art by Mikel Muerto. And Batmite is just going around trying to find Batman. He's asking people. Nobody knows where he is or who he is. And then he comes across Geoforce. And Geoforce is like, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but Batman's dead. And so Batmite is like, well, like hanging out with Batman's like my whole thing. It's my whole purpose in life. What am I gonna do? And then on the final panel, he changes and he becomes Geomite. And I think that that is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, Art was really good in this backup. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
that
kind of
is nice. Yeah.
90s, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna give this book like a 9.5. It's up there for me this week.
Nice, man.
Mhm. And then next I'll talk about The Witcher, Corvo Bianco. It's by Bartosz Stybor and Corrado Mastintiono on the art. Um, it's all right. I'm not loving this miniseries like I want to, and that's a shame because I was mega hyped for it, but that's okay. Um, you do get some good backstory on a couple of the characters finally, and I do think the final issue will be uh, pretty action packed. So I'm gonna give it probably a 6 out of 10.
Right on. All right. So Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2, issue 5 by Colin Bunn and Valdemar Rivas. And I just gotta show off the James Stokoi, however you say his name, cover. Like I just
It's
want him to
good.
do all the Godzilla stuff. He's so good.
Yeah,
But yeah, so you get the Kaiju Megazord fighting the Psycho Rangers, and you get some fun Jet Jaguar stuff, lots of fun splash pages. It's pretty solid. Like, yeah, I mean it's just kind of left open for a sequel too. You know, it felt pretty quick, but and like this is one thing too, I will say. The way that the kaiju are drawn, not my favorite, but then like the way I'll
Baragon looks funny. At least I think that's
yeah,
Baragon.
yeah, it was. But then like the like this Jet Jaguar splash page I absolutely love. So it's kind of like a pick your poison type thing because it's the people stuff it's like really funny and looks good and like some of the kaiju stuff doesn't it but then this part looks great. It's the Godzilla Megazord.
Yeah, that's
Like
rad.
yeah, I mean it's what you want from this type of series. It's all just fan service. This one's like kind of more heavy on the Power Ranger fans for the fan service. Like you get the Power Rangers becoming, like getting kaiju powers and stuff like, and that's awesome. But I would have liked more Godzilla. That's my one thing. But yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go with an 8.
Nice. Um, okay. Vengeance of the Moon Knight, #9, written by Jed McKay with art by Devmalia Promanik. And this was a pretty awesome book. So at the end of the last one, Khonshu's like, I need you to kill the Shroud for being an imposter, you. Like that doesn't fly with me. I'm gonna look like a fool of a god if I let that fly around here. So Mark and Hunter's Moon go to the Shroud, and Mark beats the shit out of him, does kill him, but then resuscitates him. And he's like, there you go, Khonshu. I killed him. It's just he came back to life. So, what can you do? And Khonshu's like, well, that's not okay. You duped me. And I told you that you had to take his life in place of your friend Reese's life. And Mark's like, well, Reese is the part of the entire reason that you escape from Asgard. So how about we just call it even Stevens on this? And he's like, all right, fine, we call it even Stevens.
What a
And
pushover.
yeah, no. Well, he just got his favorite boy back. He's gonna let some shit slide. Um, and then, it ends. It says to be, next is Fist of Khonshu #1. So while this whole Vengeance and Moon Knight was kind of just a Blood Hunt tie-in, it's like the best tie-in for an event I've ever read. It was just 9 issues of greatness, uh, as I've thought of all of Jed McKay's Moon Knight. So this was no exception. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 because it was a little bit of a fillery issue just to wrap things up. But that being said, overall, like a 9 for Vengeance of Moon Knight. Good shit.
Right on, man. Alrighty, so Shazam issue 15 by Josie Campbell and Emmanuel Lupacino on the art. You got Mary fighting these giant monsters coming from the ground, and then Uncle Marvel shows up, who's just this homeless guy with a crowbar and a lightning bolt taped to his shirt. He was in the Mary Marvel book that we read,
Nice. Yep.
and then Takitani shows up, like him and the kids are all like in the van together, and like Mary's like, you can't drive, and he's like, well, I think that's probably it's you don't want someone that can drive whenever there's giant monsters around because I'm gonna be hitting them. And and so then Billy like kind of learns what's going on with his powers and stuff. Because if you remember during the Wade run when he got made himself like, have more wisdom or whatever. And it's like it deals with that, and it's like it's revealed that the captain is really like older Billy. Like that's basically why he has more wisdom is because he's the older version. So he's kind of like judgmental of younger Bill, like Billy and that type of stuff. And then Freddy gets some powers back too. So we got the three Marvels, and I think that's where it needs to just stay there. The other orphans don't really need a power up too, just keep the three.
Right.
But I liked it. It's a solid book. I'm probably at a 7 for it. I think it's a fun and enjoyable, and I think you would have been having fun if you would have stuck with it.
Well, I'm just glad you liked it, man.
Yeah, man.
Um, all right. Ain't No Grave #5 by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. This whole issue is her final showdown with death. They have a pretty cool like little shootout. Um, you know, the gal whose name I can't think of is just like, I'm not ready to go yet. I need some more time with my husband and daughter. And death summons like everyone she's ever killed and was like, you didn't give any of these people their last moment with their loved ones. Why should I grant it to you? And he's like, look, you have 2 pistols. For every bullet that you hit me with is some time I'll grant you with your family. He's like, okay, deal. And she misses every single shot because death is just so much faster than her. And she's like, okay, fine. Will you at least take me to see them one last time? And so he does. He sees them at their house. They're like planting stuff in their garden. And she's like, I'd love to say goodbye if you let me. And he's like, do you think that would help or hurt them? It's like, hurt them, but I still want to. And death motions for her to go do so. So she takes a step forward and then she hears the hammer cock and she goes, well, it was worth a shot. And then the final page is just a splash that says bang,
Oh, that looks awesome.
and death kills her. And that's the end of the story. I was like,
Wow.
man, that's actually pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I kind of like the bittersweet ending. She went through all that shit. In the end, it didn't matter. She didn't get to cheat death. She got what was owed to her. And I respect Scotty and Jorge for telling the story like that. So yeah, just great fucking art. I mean, Jorge Corona goes way harder in this book than he did in Batgirls, and I really liked it. So I'm
Nice.
gonna give this last issue a 9, and the series overall probably an 8 or 9 as well.
Right on. I'm just down to our Mutuis.
Yep, same.
All right. What order do you want to do these in? We can start with Batman and Robin since you don't have that one.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the way I've got them sitting here, it's just Green Lantern, Uncanny, Godzilla, Turtles, and Wolverine.
All right. I think I got that right. All righty. So Batman and Robin, issue 13 by Joshua Williamson. And where's the artist at? Should have been more ready for this. Okay. And Juan Ferreira on the art. What'd you think, man? Because I have a feeling you liked it more than me.
It was okay.
I was very let down. And then the art I really didn't like at all.
We both like Juan Ferreira.
Yeah, and
This was not his best stuff.
no.
Yeah.
Like because the first issue of this arc looked awesome.
Hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, just was not good. And I like Williams, I love Williamson and this the writing too, I just was not into at all. It's like they do the big reveal of like, I'm super strong Robin now, and then it's like, well, we fixed them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Wasn't much repercussions to that.
Yeah. It it makes me more excited for Philip Kennedy Johnson, I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 100%. So I was very let down with this issue. There wasn't much about it that I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, Vengeance sucked in it. Bane like was kind of he had some cool moments, but he didn't do all that much cool stuff. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. Williamson wrapped this up pretty quick because he's got 10 other books he's doing.
Yeah, and that's really what it felt like. It was like,
Yeah,
I need to focus on this other stuff. Let's just wrap this up.
yeah.
So
So,
it's like it's not the worst thing I've ever read by any means.
oh no, but
It's
it's
just perfectly fine. So I'd probably give it a 7.
I'm probably out of 5. I was very let down reading it, but yeah, it's not the worst thing I've ever read, but it's also just a sour note to end on because it wasn't very good.
Yeah. All right. Green Lantern number 15. Written by Jeremy Adams with art by Fernando Pizarro. Um, I thought this was pretty neat in some places, but the sorrow stuff just makes me laugh.
Yeah, so dumb.
Like he's just he's just the emo kid from high school that you knew whose girlfriend that was too good for him broke up with him and he can't get over it.
Well, like that's the like I always love this too when they're like because there's other things in comics and movies and stuff like this is a big thing with I saw people talking with the new Star Wars show. There's a part when like the girl her evil rage was so powerful that she bled the lightsaber and it turned it red, and everyone's like, so when Anakin was murdering those kids, he wasn't all the way gone. It's like that type of thing. And like that's how I feel about the Sorrow guy. It's like how many other people that were like way sadder than this little turd, It's like, oh man, my whole family's dead because of this superhero thing. And they're like, not sad enough. This guy got dumped at the altar. His Las Vegas dream wedding didn't come to fruition.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty silly. Like, I think the idea of having a power of making someone feel so sad that they just like break down and can't control their emotion, like that's interesting. It's
Yeah,
just the way it's done is
yeah.
so fucking goofy.
100%. And I'm just gonna say this too. I just don't fucking care about absolute power. They're like, oh, go check out this and this one. It's like, no, I just want the regular book. This is so dumb.
Yes, but the very predictable thing that we knew would happen of Alan turning Jade Star or whatever his
Yeah.
name was fun, in my opinion. It was
Yep.
the highlight of this book for me.
Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna say this, the last thing that's negative, but it's not really that negative, but it's like, come on. And I know she sometimes had it, sometimes didn't, but Carol needs a mask.
Hmm.
She's a very famous, like not super famous, probably like a D like a C-list celebrity, but still she would be famous enough that she needs to be wearing a mask
Yeah,
while being a superhero.
I agree completely.
But this is
It,
weird. This book is weird for me anyway, is because we get a backup, which it's like the backup's probably not near as cool for you as it was for me, since you didn't get to read that Green Lantern book, but the Green Lantern
Mhm.
War Journal epilogue. And it's by Phil Kane Johnson and Montos on the art. And I freaking loved it. I thought that was so great. It was, just a really great ending for that series too.
I started to read it, quickly realized what it was, and then just kind of skimmed it.
I gotcha. Because yeah, I mean it's good, and I mean since you skimmed it, you might not know, but like to me, it did a good job of kind of telling you what happened in the book, but didn't overshare too much. Like you could still read that, and then like it's mostly just setting stuff up for that new Green Lantern book that he's going to be in, and it was good. Like it was, like I said, better than the main story, which is always weird.
Yeah. All
But
right.
where are you at for it?
Probably like a 6.5.
That's what I was feeling too. And like if it wasn't for that backup, it probably would be a 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Oh,
should probably, if you felt 6.5, I should probably give it a 6 because you got more out of that backup than I did. And that
yeah.
was several pages of this book.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, next up it is Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez on the art. Art's outstanding,
Yeah.
like so good. Um, a little bit like I don't know. There's some stuff where I'm like, the first issue of this book was so good, and then this one, it kind of drug in spots for me. I was kind of let down. What'd you think?
Uh, yeah, there were some parts that I didn't like. Um, the first thing, I'm really tired of, and this isn't Gail Simone's fault because this happens all the fucking time. Group A shows up to Group B and then they fight before they
Yeah.
become friends. And it's like, these are fucking children
Hmm.
fighting A-list X-Men characters. And for a page or two, the kids are giving it to them. and it just shouldn't be a thing. I think it's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Um,
But another thing that's really dumb though, and this is Gail's fault. I'm 100% blaming her for this. But there's a part when I gotta find it because I was like, this made no sense. So Wolverine is fighting Emo Kid,
yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Logan, you have killed such a great lot of people. They missed you so." And then the next time we get back to the fight, Wolverine punches the other guy, and then he has that kid in a headlock. It's just like, oh, okay. I guess that whole that whole stop just didn't amount to shit.
yeah, I know. I was like, oh, are we gonna see some cool like death power or
Yeah.
something?
It's just like, nope.
But the
And then,
coolest part of those kids for me was this amazing Pegasus Night
oh
scene.
yeah.
The art is so good, the
Hmm.
lighting is amazing. It's like I need to know more about this character because that's cool.
Yeah. And I will say too, I mean, I don't have anything against Jubilee, but she has never looked cooler than this entrance.
Agreed.
And then what really bothers me too is like the last issue, I don't remember them ever once being like, oh yeah, we know Professor X is alive. In every book that I have read, which is only like four X-Men titles, they're like, yeah, he died. And then in this one out of nowhere, they're like, I know he's alive. It's like, since when? Why are you
Yep.
burying the lead, Rogue? Boy, if
Yep.
only we had thought bubbles right now.
Got his ass. Um, I do like the one quick panel of Rogue calling Scott because we
Hmm.
get that phone call in regular X-Men too, which I think is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Um, and then this character, this Sarah character, who's the hag that's hunting the children, and seeing the flashback to her with Charles, I think is pretty neat. So like, there's more good than bad. It's just
Yeah.
the bad thing. I was just like, it's just a big eye roll moment for me.
And then one last thing, and this is more just like me getting annoyed with X-Men stuff. So Siren pops up in this issue, and the last I saw her, she was in X Factor, the Peter David run, and she was an actual. She was like revealed she's an actual siren, and she had like extra powers and stuff. And then this, it looks like they've just kind of been like, ah, she's just the mutant siren again, which it's like probably a different writer did that like a long time ago because it just seemed like they kind of ignored a lot of the stuff Peter David did. So it's like
Right.
I'm not blaming Gale, but I am blaming X-Men editorial.
Yep. I agree, man. Um, that being said, I think the next issue will be
Yeah.
better because we're past the stupid we gotta fight bullshit, and we'll get to see what's going on with these kids, what's going on with the hag, and and also I really it's done in this book and it's done in Wolverine, which we'll get to in a bit. But I love that Wolverine's like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, nah, we need you. You're gonna do this shit. And he's
Yeah.
like, all right, fine.
See, if he had a thought bubble, it'd be like, fucking love doing this shit.
Yep. Yep. So where do you rate it, man?
I probably had a 7.5. It was like the first issue was so good, and this one was like such a departure from that being so good that I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a letdown, but it's still fine. What about you?
Um, I think 7.5 sounds good.
Now, did you love the first issue as much as I did? Because I think I
No,
gave that like no, okay, because I think I gave that like a 9 or a 10 because I really really liked it.
yeah, I
I
mean
was very surprised how much I did.
it was good. I just don't think it hits quite as hard for
Yeah,
me because I'm not a big X-Men reader until recently,
yeah,
and I know that you weren't really either, but it just didn't resonate with me like it did you.
yeah. See, I really figured it would have since it was like Gambit stealing a amulet from a dragon.
Yeah, no, I mean that part was rad as hell for sure. Okay. Next, we've got Godzilla. Here There Be Dragons 2, Sons of Giants number 3. An amazing cover.
Yeah,
Love the
I
Mothra
love.
cover.
Yeah, so fluffy.
Very fluffy. It's written by Frank Thierry with art by Inaki Miranda. The tale from history in this is the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt and saving them from the Pharaoh. Turns out it was Mothra who parted the Red Sea. Um, yeah, and then we just find out that they just want this guy whose name I cannot remember right now to join their cult. This issue was fine for sure, but this just felt like a big old filler.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna complain that the smog monster is like the fourth monster. It should be like Anguirus or King Caesar.
Hmm.
Both of those would have been better options than smog monster. But how'd you feel about old King Ghidorah popping up?
Oh, I like that. And this
Yeah.
one whole page of him was
Yeah.
super cool. The one thing I was kind of confused about, um, so Ghidorah shows up. Are they, Godzilla included, are they all bowing to him?
I don't think so. Let's look.
I don't know. It kind of looked like it to me. And I was like, huh, this seems weird.
I think they got blasted, and so then they're getting up.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I
see, like
guess, right,
they're all like,
right.
oh, and then they're getting up and they look at each other like, well, let's team up. And I like to think Ghidorah's like, I just want to fucking make a bunch of smog.
Yeah. I don't know. It was fine. Just felt fillery to me.
Yeah, no, this was the weakest issue of the three we've gotten so far. So I'm probably at a six for it. Just didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, probably like a 5-5 for me. It's like the kaiju cult thing was funny the first time,
Yeah,
but now we're getting like it was a good chunk of this book, and it's more
yeah,
and more each issue, and it's like, it's losing its charm.
yeah. I agree, man. All right, but Teenage Mutant Turtles issue two by Jason Aaron and Raphael Albuquerque on the art. Art's awesome. Story is pretty solid. What'd you think?
Yeah, good stuff. I thought it was I don't know. It's always nice to see Mikey, who, you know, is the less serious brother, have to be serious and
Yeah,
reflect on, you know, some heavier stuff like his brothers towards the end of this issue. Um, but boy, what are we getting at the start of issue 3, Casey?
I mean, like
A
a
fucking fight
big old fight. Like
before they become brothers again.
that's the thing. It's like I don't like the last issue. Raph breaks out of prison. It's like how did he get from New York to Japan? Because that's the thing. Mikey's in Japan and he's the biggest movie star or TV star in the world, and then the Foot tries to kill him.
Yeah,
That was the basic gist. And Raph shows up then later on, and then it's like, oh yeah, we don't like each other, which I don't know if we know why. If you have been reading this for a while, if you know why, or if it's just Jason Aaron doing like Marvel used to do with all of their number one issues for a while, where it's like, big thing happened. Guess what? You'll find out in 2 years.
right. Yeah, I hope not. Um, Man, Albuquerque's art just goes crazy, though. There's a point
Mhm.
where Mikey's like, okay, time to get serious and fight these guys. And he pulls out diamond encrusted nunchucks, and the art is just fucking awesome on these pages.
Yeah, looks so good.
Yeah. Um, but no, I really liked it. Liked it every bit as much as the first issue. Uh, looking forward to angsty Leonardo next issue.
Yep.
Where are you at
I'm
with it,
at
man?
probably at a 9. I really enjoyed it. What about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, probably a 9. It for some reason it's just not quite a 10, but it was damn close.
Yeah.
All right. So our final issue is Wolverine #1 by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Kokolo. Again, art fucking incredible
Yep.
on this issue. But what do you think of the story?
For the most part, I really, really loved it. I always hate like anytime there's a thing where there's like superheroes and then like someone gets killed and then like the regulars are like just yelling at the superheroes. It's like it's really not their fault, guys. Like there's no way you need to be this much of an asshole.
Yeah.
And like later on when that doctor's like, I'm a doctor. That's why I stayed with your friend. He's probably gonna die. Bye-bye, you piece of shit. It's like, geez, lady, why are you this way?
Yeah.
But
I the only thing I don't quite understand is like, okay, so Wolverine couldn't detect Kurt right away, and like his senses are kind of waning a bit or something. Is there anything prior to me reading this stuff to explain that?
I don't think so. I think the big thing that they tried to explain it that way is like he was going feral. So like
Mm-hmm.
he just didn't recognize him that, like he was just enjoying his time with his wolves. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that's what it was, but I could be full of shit, but
I
that's how I
gotcha.
took it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we get Cyber, which you don't see a lot of, but he's also like to me one of the cooler Wolverine baddies because it's like he's got adamantium skin, which is like what era he was made. A guy with adamantium skin and poison finger claws
The 1990s.
back in the 1900s.
Yeah, I if I knew who Cyber was, I forgot because I was like,
Yeah.
I do not recognize this guy.
Dude, I had a bunch of different cards when I was a kid with him, like, him just basically beating up Wolverine. It'd be like there's one where he's like breaking his bone claws and stuff. I'm
Nice.
like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he has a great character design here, though.
Hmm.
And then, you know, at the end, we've got I guess what they would call pure adamantium taking him
Yeah.
over. It's gold colored, which makes Cyber look pretty fucking rad again.
Hmm.
So, really curious what that's going to be all about. And are we going to get Gold Claw Wolverine sometime in the near future?
Oh, man, that sounds like something that you'd get for like Ultimate Alliance.
Mm-hmm. It does for sure. But yeah, man, I greatly enjoyed this. It's
Yeah.
probably like an 8.5.
I liked it a whole point more than you. I was gonna give it a 9.5. The art is so good, and this should be fun. I don't know if it's gonna be as good as old Benji Purses, but it should. It, I'm already here for the ride.
Yeah, I
But
think it will be just because of how much I like his Daredevil. I have to believe that this is going to be that good too.
yeah. But hey, man, what are you excited for?
Um, let's see here. Definitely Dark Knights of Steel. Been loving that. Um, gosh, this list is gigantic. Probably Thundercats, Chitara, and Superman. We'll go Superman.
Right on. So for me, I'm gonna go Destro, X Factor, and Ultra Mega. I'm so excited. Now, dude, I just got a question because Fire and Ice is only on issue 3. That seems wild to me.
No, it's not DC's Fire and Ice.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that book came out like a long time ago. So I was like,
It did.
yeah, because I was like, yeah, you read the first issue and then it wasn't very good.
Yeah, this is um like a Frank Frazetta
Oh, okay.
creation that someone else is doing.
Okay. Well, that clears that up. Okay, Fantastic Four time. I saw a AI art thing where it was like the Super Smash Brothers if it was an 80s action movie and they had it like looking and I'm like that's fun. So I was just gonna say give me 4 Nintendo characters you want a live action movie of. Extra points if you cast them too.
Sure. Um, I don't know. You say live action. I
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
mostly mean like animated, but
but no no no. It has to be live action. So your Star Fox is going to be live action.
okay.
It's gonna be like a
Well,
fucking nightmare fuel.
it will be. My number one pick is Star Fox. And this is purely based on his Marvel work. I'm going to say Bradley Cooper is Fox. I think he
Okay.
can do it.
Yeah. Tons of makeup.
Tons of makeup. Put him in a furry suit.
Yep.
Then I'm going to go with Metroid. And I realize she might be a little old for it now, but my old heartthrob Yvonne Strahovski is as Samus.
I like that.
And then, man, Fire Emblem would be so fucking cool. And my favorite story are the one from Ike's games. However, I don't feel confident enough to pick an Asian actor for this role. Uh, so I'm just not gonna.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Which was it Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good movie.
I didn't think it would be.
And then I think it'd be really fun to have an Earthbound movie. Um, but again, it's like you'd need a kid for Ness, and I don't really know kid actors that well. But I think a trippy, weird ass Earthbound movie could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So for me, I did like mine are dumb. I'm just gonna start off by saying that. So Earthbound was on my list, and I was gonna have Finn Wolfhard as Ness.
Dude, it's funny you say that because I nearly just said, one of the Stranger Things
Yeah.
kids.
Like not because I mean, if I'm being honest, if he's in it, I'm probably not watching it because I can't stand him. But I just think it'd be hilarious. And then F-Zero X starring
Ooh, good one.
Vin Diesel.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm watching that unironically.
And then Kirby. Let's just do a Kirby. And then we can get
Danny
trying to think
DeVito.
of ooh, Danny DeVito would be a good one. Um current Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer. Is that a
He was
wrestler?
no
Oh.
mini me.
Oh, Mini Me. Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
passed away, so I made sure to say current. And then uh, and then a Yoshi movie with Baby Mario. Finn Wolfhard's Baby Mario and Millie Bobby Brown will be Yoshi.
Nice. I I come across a lot of stupid videos online where it's like, why does my golf club hitting this ball sound like Yoshi? So they swing and they hit, and it's just some guy going, "Hey, I'm the fucking green dinosaur from Mario."
So stupid.
It is so stupid, but man, I get those all the time. Anyway, that's the end of the episode, man.
Yeah.
So, what do you want the people to talk to us about before we sign off?
Let us know what movie what really bad or really good Nintendo movie you'd want to see live action only, no animation. We're adults here. Maybe you want to see a Super Mario Brothers sequel with the same actors. I think one of them died, but who cares?
Gosh, probably. It's been forever.
Yeah. Because
All right.
I think Mario's dead. I think Luigi's still alive. Luigi's a famous actor in that movie. I'm blanking on his name though. Is it John Leguizamo?
It might be.
Because I think he was actually
Yeah. Yeah,
a
it was him.
little upset that he wasn't in the Super Mario Brothers Chris Pratt movie.
Well, I mean, give the man a cameo. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. He's the most famous version of Luigi. I'm a Luigi Mario. We're the Mario Brothers. He's Mario Mario. That's real dialogue.
Oh, I'm aware. All righty, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but I have to go up to the Canadian wilderness and convince Casey to leave his dead wolf pack and be an X-Men again. So we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
I just want to hang out with dogs. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.